Hi Saber Geeks, Saber World. This is Fletch here from Falcon Custom Props. We're just relatively new. We've been doing sort of our own projects, our own things, and we decided to sort of move over into the world of lightsabers because I'm a massive Star Wars nerd, so it seemed fitting. Just a couple of electrical engineers and we just want to do some stuff in our spare time, so I decided to do a quick video on this, which is the Gen 2 Graflex from Roman. Really good. Love Roman, love his hilts, love his stuff. Great guy, great customer service. But there was just a couple of things I wanted to run through with you guys first. If you've got one or you're getting one, you haven't installed it yet, you'll might come across these issues. This is in Empire Strikes Back configuration, black screws, because personally that's how I see it in the film from some screen grabs. I think personally that they were black to try and compensate for the holes they put in there to try and cover up the fact they drilled them, but I think the black wore off over time, over filming, and that's why they ended up silver. Don't quote me on that, but that's just what I believe. 4mm rivets in the cobalt clip, the sloth furnace clamp card, blade retention from Custom Saber Shop, KR sabers, blade holder with his pins in there, and that's about it. Oh yeah, and I also removed the beer tab because personally that's not there in Empire, but again, that's all for debate. I don't want to start a big conflab on the forums, but yeah, really good hilt. Just a couple of issues. The first issue was that the blade holder from KR was made for the Gen 1 dimensions. Now the Gen 2's come out, I don't know whether this was just mine or in general, but the top half is thinner than the bottom half, which meant I had to make a little bit of modification inside the clamp as well to keep it in place. But that meant that it was really tough getting the blade holder in. I had to make some modifications for that, and it just wasn't really that happy with it. It does fit, but Cal from an email, Cal spoke to him, and he said the best bet now is he's advising people is to get the Graflex blade holder he does, because the Roman's gone to the dimensions of an original Graflex. It just sort of works now. As you'll notice, the holes aren't aligned properly with this blade holder as well. I mean, that might not be massive to some people, but I know there's a lot of people out there that have issues with that, so if you want the correct proportions either side of the pins, then that's what you got to do. Also, because I had to do so many modifications and I was taking it in and out, I accidentally clipped the corner of the hole ever so slightly, and it meant that some of the plating has flaked off, and you can see the brass underneath. Now, as you can tell, it's not massive, like you probably can't even tell from there. But I noticed it, and so just be really careful when you're doing your installs, because you know mine's just barely noticeable, but you might not want to cause any sort of issues to that. So yeah, stick with the Graflex holder, see how you get on with that. I'm going to get one for my next build that I want to do. But overall, the hilt's brilliant. It's so accurate to a Graflex. You know, you've got the Graflex logo here. The folded in end is the folded in end is just like an original, which you know, I'm really happy with. The bunny ears though are still a bit long, but I mean, if that's a massive issue to you, you can always go to the Graflex shop and get their bunny ears. Or to be fair, I've seen quite a few bunny ears on eBay for like $40–50. So you could always just get some vintage bunny ears and get them in, so you know that they are just right. I've also got Cal's screw in here, screen accurate screw. I think it's the Parks one. So yeah, it's running a Prism V5.1. I've got a Padawan chassis in it, Goth 3D Designs, and it's also got the loud 28mm bass speaker, which in my opinion is important in a hilt like this. I mean, I did put a couple of holes underneath the clip, the cobalt clip, but with a hilt like the way sound works, it's just doesn't matter. You can drill holes all over the place, but if it's not right, it's not going to sound right. So obviously, with a bit of space in the clamp here and the space there, just get a really loud speaker. and you can overcompensate for that. This is Best Bin 2. I've got Hoth on here and just a few other fonts just for fun. It's got the KR blade plug in it, which I personally like. I think that's quite accurate, and as you can tell, it is really loud. I put an RGB LED in there just so I could have a bit of a play with different colours. I personally really like the cyan colour. I know some people go for blue, but for me, being an original trilogy buff, it was important to get a cyan. I think I managed to pull it off pretty well. I've got a lighter cyan for Hoth, but for this one I just used the mixing in the prism. It's really intuitive, really good, and it comes up with a really nice colour coming out of it. So obviously it does everything flash and flash, blaster deflection. It also has the force effect that you can use. I'm not going to bore you with that because you'll have seen it 1,000 times. So yeah, I just thought I'd run through that with you, so anybody who's looking to do an install will hopefully learn from the issues I've had. Got any issues with Cal, just give him an email. He always gets back to you straight away. He's really, really good. We're doing another project over the next couple of months, which is going to be quite big. Obviously, I'm interested in all the NeoPixel hype that's going on at the minute, so I want to do a NeoPixel build. And obviously, having a couple of friends who are quite heavily into electronics, we've come up with a few ideas which we think will be able to add some exciting new edge to lightsabers on a whole. Guys can do stuff with Bluetooth and that, and I think everything that everyone's doing, the community is so great, everyone's so helpful, and all these ideas, it just keeps you excited, keeps you involved. So hopefully that next project will be coming out in a couple of months, which means I'm selling this, by the way, so if anybody's interested in buying it off me, just give me a message. I might put it up for sale on the groups or on eBay, I don't know yet, but if you are interested, just give us a shout, because it's going to fund the next project that I'm doing. Obviously, we all just work full-time jobs, so you know, this is just a bit of fun in the spare time, and we do it for the love of it. So yeah, any questions, give me a shout, and thanks for watching the video.